Let's talk about foot technique. We're going to cover the basics here right now. There are two types of technique, heels up and heels down. Firstly, we have heel down, which if you're just starting out, is going to be the most logical way to play. What we want is for the foot to be flat on the footboard, so the footboard being this part here, and we want the foot to be flat with the footboard. Then we're just simply going to press down like that. So essentially with this technique, you're using primarily your ankle. What you can do to practice this is just to sit on the floor and do this type of thing. And you can practice that anywhere. What we do want is for the foot to maintain contact with the footboard at all times. You should feel the pressure right at the ball of the foot, so that at the ball of the foot is where you're applying pressure to the pedal and actually making the beater, this part, move. I don't want you to lift all the way up off the footboard so that you're not making contact. Try and slap down onto it. Like that. Let's talk about the advantages and disadvantages of heels down. The advantage is that because your heel is planted, your balance is much more natural and comfortable initially. You can keep the weight of your leg down on the ground, and it also assists you in not falling forward or backwards. The disadvantages, you don't get a lot of power because we're not using the entire weight of the leg. That's where we use a heel up technique. With heels up technique, we're using primarily leg, moving from the hip flexor. What we need to do is to try and disengage the ankle so that it's not pivoting. So in order to do this, I just want you to think about locking your ankle up like that. So you're not really allowing it to pivot. You're keeping it locked. And then we're going to just simply move the leg up and down like that. Putting this onto the football can be a little bit more tricky because you will find that your ankle wants to pivot. So essentially, you have to keep contact with the footboard, press through the ball of your foot so that you feel the weight right in the ball of the foot, as with heels down, and you lift up and press. So you can see the whole weight of my leg up and then going down through the ball of my foot into the footboard, and that's what's driving the beater into the drum. We want to make sure that we're not disconnecting from the footboard at any point in time, just as we did with heels down. So we want to make sure that the foot keeps in contact with the footboard at all times. It should look like this, not like this. Another thing is to make sure that you're not leaving your leg in the air after each stroke. What will happen if you do that is you're going to get a lot of tension in your hip flexor. So I do want you to rest. Think about dropping the weight of your whole entire leg down and just resting it there. One tip, if you're struggling with this, is to think about heels up as almost being a reverse heels down. With heels down, we're pivoting from the ankle forward. With heels up, if the ankle pivots at all, pivoting towards the heel into the ground. Way. If we just pivot the heel and stay relaxed, should be able to make a stroke. What you'll find is that the knee comes up as a result. Then if you add a deliberate lift, drive through the footboard to the ball of the foot, you'll get a nice strong stroke. As you practice this more and more, it will get more comfortable. Everything is exactly the same with the left foot. So hopefully that gives you a really good overview of the two types of techniques: heels down, heels up.